Get your life back.
Hey everybody, we are back. So, the last segment was about clarifying your why. I gave you some biblical affirmations for you to ponder and meditate on. So we kind of really going to finish clearing up that section and finishing and then moving on to the next segment as well. So we talked about using what's in your hands. Let's go. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. With you. There we go. Alrighty. So we went over these biblical affirmations. Let me kind of side up a little bit. I hope you have your pen, your pad, your paper, the journal, everything that you need so we can just do this together. So as a Christian faith-based coach, pastoral counselor, and clergy, I truly believe that God endows us with spiritual and natural abilities with a purpose and mandate to use them. Many times our natural abilities, skills, and talent are a manifestation or in relation to our spiritual giftings and abilities. We just sometimes don't pay attention to this revelation. Also, remember that you can have more than one purpose and passion, and that they can be seasonal, and you may serve in different purposes and roles during another season. So I just want you to remember that. So let's get to our conclusion of clarifying your why. All of the conclusions are drawn from all of the work that you have done already. Hopefully you have filled in those sections. After clarifying your whys, because you may find that you have more than one, why? Okay, we got that part. Have you come to any conclusions and facts about who you serve, why, and if any of these confirm or reveal your purpose in this current season? If so, expound below. So I want you to use this section to expound on your findings. What is your conclusion after you started going through the process of clarifying your why? Any conclusions, anything that come to your mind? Does something stand out? Are you able to highlight something? And you should be, if you've done that exercise from the last segment, you should be able to fill this section out with something, even if it's not complete, but it has started you on that road to complete this section. So I want you to do this. I'm not going to stay long because I don't want it to be idle time, but I want you to start thinking and writing some things down. And even while you're doing this course, you can do like little highlights of when you get an idea of what it is you want to expound on. You can put the words there, and then you can come back and finish it all. Finish your thought out as well. So this is on here. And we are going to move to, I hope you're ready for the next one. Just want to give you a few, maybe another minute or so. It's hard to think when you're kind of being read to. And so while some of you got some things written down, we are going to move to the next section, which is tips to ponder and point you toward your why. So this whole thing is about clarifying, right? But I just have it broken down into sections. Things to ponder that will point you to the right direction. Because remember, you're being intentional about life now. You're living a purposeful and meaningful life now. I just spoke that over your life. Catch it, catch it, catch it. Connecting your purpose to your strengths, passions, and experiences for more clarity assignment. So these are things I want you to ponder on as you get more, or be able to identify more of your passions and your purpose, okay? Take inventory of your strengths that you and others see, right? I went over that some in the beginning. So this is assignment now. This is something you're going to do. Number 2, document any serial, repetitive dreams of you operating in your vision, your desire, and your passion in life. So some of you been getting visions, you have dreams, you need maybe confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, because you got those of you out there, right? I need to hear it 5 times, because maybe you still battling with that core belief. Maybe that's a fight, or you just want to be sure. You just want to be clear. This is what the clarifying process is all about. And so, Find out, well, think about the dreams and visions you have, because sometimes that is your confirmation, but you just want to, I don't know, it takes something to drop out of the sky for you to go, oh. Sometimes your dream and your vision is your confirmation, or sometimes you get the dream and visions first, but then, God will give you confirmations in different areas and from different people at different events, different interactions. And so then you start understanding, like, okay, I got the revelation. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm on the right track. And that's a good feeling. When you're on the right track, that is so refreshing. It is so unburdensome. It's like, oh, you took a big cloud from over my head. Because sometimes when you feel stuck, you just feel stuck. Or it's like a thick cloud is over your head and you really can't see or think clearly or whatever. So when that is lifted, that's all you needed it. Sometimes once you get to that point, it's like, okay, I'm good now. I'm good to go. I'm on a launching pad. Let's do this. Number 3, look at your resume to identify consistent themes or skills, talent, knowledge applied. So look at that resume you have and find that repetitive or something that you do a lot. There's something you can highlight, because when a person is interviewing you, they can look at your resume and be able to highlight certain things, and they'll be able to pull out your strength as well. Like, okay, she seemed to be very good at this. She completed this project at this place, and she was able to build this program, or she was, just different stuff. Or she's really good with working with clients and motivating clients, whatever. There's something that stands out, and you can kind of see it over and over again. And so you look for that. You be your own interviewer, and you the interviewee and the interviewer, and kind of look at your resume from a person who's like an acquisition specialist or HR person, and you looking over somebody else's resume. So trying to step out of yourself for a moment and look at your own resume, like, what am I good at? So what do I possess? Number 4, observe and assess your interactions and social exchange with others from the outside in. And I just already went into that, right? I said, try to imagine yourself, step out of yourself and kind of look at yourself from the outside of how another person may see you. And try to do that. Just spend some time relaxing, taking deep breaths, and thinking about that, how you see yourself or what you think others see about you. This is your self-concept, what you think others see in you, but we're looking at it from a positive side. We're not looking to critique or be negatively critical of yourself. We are looking for strengths. We are looking for positive attributes. We are looking for skill sets, passions, all of that. That's what I want you to focus on. Number 5, pay attention to how you feel when you do something that affects change, provide a service, and give insight to others. So again, you're being mindful. Pay attention to how you feel. All of this is also mindfulness as well, because you're focusing on you now. Pay attention to how you feel when you do something that affects change for somebody else, when you help somebody else in a positive way. How do you feel about that? Do you get a sense of gratitude, personal gratitude, or a sense of accomplishment and achievement? Or you get real excited in your spirit, like, oh, that felt so good. And I want to do this more often. I get joy out of this. That's an indicator of your purpose, an indicator of your passion. And you feel the passion when you do it. Number 6, what were your favorite games, groups, clubs, shows, topics, subjects, and toys as a child, an adolescent, and a young adult? Sometimes when you think of your hobbies or things you love to do, they all can be pointing you towards a direction, because even in those things, there's a common theme. There's something about it you like. Like, for instance, I'm a very investigative person. I like to know the why a person did this and why a person did that. So I like those type of games where you kind of got to figure out things and like, there's some strategy involved. I like movies like that. Very investigative. I like psychological thrillers. I'm not one to watch horror pictures, but I can watch psychological thrillers, like people who have multiple personalities. I can't think of the name of that movie. I think it's The Many Faces of Eve. And there was another one, I think Sybil, and they have multiple personalities. But what's interesting, even I don't like horror, Psycho, sometimes it's very interesting watching that movie, Psycho. because it takes you into the mind of a person who was abused and neglected and lived in a rigid home. I mean, just how it can change a person, and so much trauma that they experience, their mind and the chemicals in their brain change, and they become almost like a monster, so they end up hurting people. But the battle that the son had in the movie, because Anthony Perkins played it, because his mother was so possessive, he couldn't do anything, he couldn't date, she kept him pretty much locked up in the house. What does that do to a person? And there's one more movie that I think is kind of what is it, a horror? It's kind of a horror. It's a horror thriller. I haven't seen it in years because I definitely don't watch those now. But I just noticed what I like about these type of movies is The Dentist. I think it's called The Dentist. There's this dentist who was married. He had his own dental practice in the home, and he also worked outside the home. But he found out that his wife was sleeping with the pool guy. And so he caught them. I believe he caught them in the act. And so one day when he was actually working on people's, his patient's mouth, and, in his dental practice, he would get these visions in imagination. He remembers, that vision keep coming to his mind about him, his wife with the pool guy. And it started affecting him emotionally, that he started drilling into his his client's mouth. Like, next thing you know, he done tore their mouth up. It's horrible. It's horrible. But I'm just talking about the mind, what it does to the mind when you allow yourself to be abused over and over again, or not treated right, and you don't deal with it. You don't deal with it. You don't address it. You suppress it. You repress it. That thing will ball up, and woo, you become this person you never thought you could be. And, he fixed the wife at the end. Let's just say at the end, she ain't had no teeth. She did not have any teeth. That thing was so, oh my gosh. And I remember because he got in his chair and he took out his wife's teeth. And so it's funny, because it's kind of funny, but it's kind of sad at the same time. At the end of the movie, when the camera go towards the pool, and there's a chair facing the pool, and you can see the back of the wife's head. And when she turned around, honey, she had no teeth in her mouth. He fixed her. He's like, ain't nobody gonna be with you no more. So interesting. So anyway, back to this exercise. There's a common theme with things you love, things you enjoy. Why do you enjoy them? Why do you like that? Why does that move you? So all of that. Number 7, did any of your teachers ever yell or complain about any patterns of behavior, activity, or actions you displayed in class? Sometimes the very thing that you got in trouble for, even at home, is the very thing that you are supposed to do on a whole nother level. And I like to use the comparison or the example of a comedian getting in trouble at school, always being, the jokester in the class. Joking around. That could be for different reasons. Maybe falling behind in your classwork. There's some insecurity there. So you start cracking jokes to distract the class because you get attention that way, but you get in trouble at the same time. Or you're just that person that can come into any kind of atmosphere, lighten up the atmosphere, make people feel good. You always see yourself doing that. So a comedian is good at that, because you get yelled at all the time. Just, he's not taking his work seriously. He's playing around with the kids, and boom, 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 boom. Most of the comedians that I hear, that when I hear their stories, they kind of seem to have this common theme, that they got in trouble a lot in school. They just did. They just was a joke. So everything was funny to them. They saw a joke in everything. Some people are gifted like that. The Bible talks about how humor is good for the soul. It's like good medicine. Laughter is like good medicine, because it makes people feel good. It release those good feeling endorphins in your body, and that's the reason why we like chocolate or wine or a funny movie or something, because it makes you feel good for that moment. Some people have a natural gift to do that. I just thought about another type of profession where you can utilize your skills and passion and talent, but it just left my mind. Ooh, it left my mind. But anyway, it'll come back. So that's a good example. So think of things that you may have gotten in trouble for, but it actually ended up being a blessing for you. I can think of Tiffany Haddish. I love her story. I love some Tiffany Haddish because of the intervention that she had as a teenager, and one of her, I think it's a social worker, saw that she kept getting in trouble for this very thing. And so she decided, which was a blessing for her, to connected to I think it was like a comedian type of program or something she can do after school where she can use her comedic expressions and talent in that area so she can express herself, which actually helps to enhance the educational piece because she has an outlet. She's been through a lot of trauma. So sometimes joking and being comedic is a way of coping and dealing with stuff in real life. And so she found an outlet, a medium, a place that she can go to and really operate in that thing. And look how it blessed her life. Now she's so successful from joking, from being a comedian and still a comedian, but also an actress is now. So I'm just saying, think about those examples. Okay, so the next piece in this segment is check out. Okay, so this is all about checking out my YouTube playlist because I have a playlist that really complements this course as well. It's actualizing your purpose. And so that's one of them, actualizing your purpose and your passion. I have another video called 5 Prompts to Help You Discover Your Purpose. You know, and I probably will put the link. By the time you see this, I might have the link included in this course. Another one is your passion indicators. Remember I talked about that? Yes. Committed to your purpose. When life gives you the shaft, things happen sometime. But see, I don't want you to get discouraged. And we know things happen, but how do you bounce back? The video is about that. And living in vain or purpose. Are you living in vain? You just taking up air, just existing? Or are you living on purpose? Life is more enhanced when you live on purpose. And so on here, just information about going to my blog, getwhylifeback.com. You can find the videos on there as well and some wonderful content. This is where we're going into before we end this segment. He said, she said, they said. So you're going to complete this section. And let's start with the first one. Ask your friends what strengths, values do they see. Now, this one you're going to do later because, you know, you need to be in the environment where you can do this assignment and take your notes, and then we can come back and discuss it. So actually, you know what? I want you to do that. I want you to do this exercise, and then we're going to come back and discuss it. Ask your friends what strengths, values do they see in you. Ask your family members what strengths and abilities they see. Ask your coworkers, colleagues, educators the same question. Do you believe them? Now we get into those core beliefs. Do you believe everything that everybody says? Because you know there's a lot of you out there, and I work with people like that, and I know friends and family like that. No matter how many times they hear something, they don't believe it because there's the insecurity inside of them. You know, there's the imposter syndrome that they experience where they feel like, oh, they're going to find me out. I'm not really good at this or this and that. And you have them self-defeating thoughts again, those disempowering thoughts that you got to pull down that stronghold, because that's going to be a barrier towards you stepping into your purpose. So this is where the mindset come in. This is where the transformation, this is where the biblical affirmations come into play, that you need to meditate. You need to speak a new language. I teach this in a program I have. When you go to my website, SherylWhiteHoward.com, I have a coaching service that deals just with the mindset, the mind work, the transformation piece. And if you need that, then you need to sign up for that after this course or alongside this course as well. I will work with you one-on-one because you have to live in your purpose. You cannot allow that mindset, old mindset, disempowering belief to get in your way. You just can't do that. You have to take it by your life by force. Like, oh no, I am going to live in my purpose and live on purpose. And how I'm going to be intentional? I'm going to work with Cheryl. I'm going to look, complete this course, follow through to the new you. Okay. So I asked you that question. Do you believe them? And then you know what? If you something that says I don't, because like I said, some of you have that, you're battling with that. Why you don't believe it? Did somebody speak something negative over your life? Did you grow up in a household where you never got the affirmation? And that's why a lot of us are like that. We never got the affirmation, or people always pointed out our negative, our faults and all that. Oh, you went through so many things. You lost your sense of who you are. You feel like you don't have any value, nothing significant. And so if you deal with all of that, you need to know why. And I want you to put yes and no and put the why in as well. So I have circle and highlight any common themes where, okay, so that was that exercise. I want you to do that. Affirmation before we end. Vision without action is a dream. A vision without action is a dream only. Now, we have to start things with a dream, but we have to get some action involved. It's like faith without works is dead. Action without vision is simply passing the time. Action with vision is making a positive difference. That is by Joel Barker. Okay, so we finished this segment. Go do that assignment that I gave you where you're going to ask people, ask your villagers what they see in you. I want you to make all of those notes for yourself. And that is it. Let's go back to there we go. So I hope that was helpful. I want you to do the exercise. And maybe you can find somebody to talk to about, when you finish certain segments, you can sit with somebody and kind of go over some things as well. And don't forget to invite somebody else to this course, because I'm sure you're probably thinking of somebody right now. So-and-so needs to be in this course, because sometimes you may be helping somebody and they're battling with their own core beliefs. So no matter what you say, because you know them and you're familiar with them, it's hard for them to receive from you. But sometimes from a stranger or somebody who's neutral, there's no emotional attachment there. They may receive it more. I don't know. That's just the way we are sometimes. Sometimes people too close to us, either we think they're just saying it just because they love us or whatever goes through your mind. But anyway, until next time, take care.
Get your life back. Get your life back.